Hi, I'm Vinny Wynn.
And I'm Jackson Ford, and this is 10 Minutes. In today's episode of 10 Minutes, we have two first-hand interviews with the Sumner and the partner, both of which these people are dishonest and unloyal to the church and their community. Let's meet these two and get their take on it. For our first interview, we are going to be meeting with the partner. Now you may be asking, what is a partner or what do they do? Basically, a partner is someone who is licensed to sell pardons to people who have sinned. Mostly, they will target gullible peasants or the lower class. A partner's purpose was to sell these pardons, and supposedly they would forgive your sins and help you reduce your time in purgatory or hell, or make you more likely to go into heaven. A partner oftentimes would sing, tell a story, or even preach in church. The partner would also not be liked by most people, especially within the church. Who is a partner and what description fits them? The appearance of a partner is actually very distinct and unique. It's a middle-class male with long blonde hair, hatless, and bulging eyes. Partner, basically, he's not that attractive, as you'll see. And choosing to grow your hair out long and not wearing a hat were actually two characteristics that were frowned upon by the medieval church. Having long hair with no hat is a sign that they are not holy and do not respect the rules of the Catholic Church. A partner, they're basically a salesman. Even though that's their job to preach and sell and be bold, that's kind of how they are. But most of the time this comes off very obnoxious to most people. And oftentimes he is questioned as being a man. He can't grow facial hair. He has a high-pitched voice and a lot of other unmanly characteristics. So what is a partner like? Or what's their personality? What's his personality? Partner, he's kind of a fraud. He steals from the Catholic Church for his own benefit. They claim to be part of the church and to be holy people, yet all they really do is just pocket money in false ways and lie about it. You can't just buy your way into heaven with a pardon. It's not how it works. Although partners can convince, he will convince people toward the wrong way just to pocket a pretty penny. He claims to preach even though he's not authorized to do so by the church. Another reason he's a fraud. The reason he does preach is to get his own money for his own benefits. Now, a partner, he does not fit or represent a typical religious person to the standards or morals of the church. An example of that would be like how he doesn't listen or follow the rules of the church, yet also at the same time he tries to appear as this religious figure, as this holy person, but he doesn't follow the rules of that. Also, that kind of makes him a hypocrite.
Alright, so we're here with our first guest. Hello, Miss Partner.
It's Mr.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Partner. Well, the first thing I'm wondering about, and I'm sure everybody else is are you being dishonest to all these so-called sinners?
No, that's absurd. My job is to just sell pardons, which helps the sinners get to heaven.
Are you really helping them, or are you in it for the money?
Well, of course the money's good, but
Why does the money even matter if you're trying to be good and help these people get to heaven?
I would need to make a living somehow. I just can't dedicate my whole life to the church.
Well, isn't that your job?
That is my job, but I'd say it's a little more complicated than that.
Well, what's so complicated about doing your job? I can tell that you grew out your hair. Isn't that against the church's rules? Along with not wearing a hat?
I am wearing a hat.
You just put that on.
No, I didn't.
What about the long hair?
Well, that's my style. That's just who I am.
But that's not what the church wants you to do, but you still go against it.
Well, I don't have to follow everything the church says.
So you're telling me you're unloyal to the church?
You're twisting my words, but I mean, in a sense, everybody is.
Okay, well, let's move on.
Okay.
Is it true that people deem you as unmanly?
No, of course not. I've always been a man my whole life.
Well, is it true that you can't grow facial hair?
I can grow facial hair, I choose not to.
Thank you for coming out and having this interview with us.
Well, yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, good luck on your religious journey.
As you just saw, the partner is very sly and sneaky around the church, but wouldn't admit it. We now go to a person that is very similar to him, known as the Summoner.
Well, in our next interview, we're about to interview the summoner of the church. The summoner, he's supposed to summon people to courts for their sins, and he's supposed to be a very honest person, but he's not. He lies to people for benefits of himself. He tries to get an edge of money. We believe that money runs his world because he takes bribes. He lies to the peasants who sin because they don't know better. They think that what he's telling them is true. With all this power he has, he abuses it a lot. Not only does he abuse his power, but he doesn't really follow the rules of the church. He's supposed to be wearing a hat that covers his head, but instead of wearing a hat, he decides to wear a garland that exposes his head. So you can tell that he's not that loyal to the church. And he also has some type of disease on his face, as you can see in the interview in a little bit. It's like leprosy, we believe, but we don't know. He also has this very strong scent. We talk to him, and then he says that he eats onions and garlics, and he thinks it's normal, but it's not. And he loves drinking red wine. And he also speaks some Latin. He thinks that he can speak Latin, but he picked it up on listening in on people speaking Latin while he was in the courts. And we believe he's going to Canterbury not for a religious journey, but more because of for healing purposes. We see that the marks on his face, the disease on his face. We don't think that he's going for a religious journey because we don't believe he's religious. And he denies that he's going for the purpose of healing. But why else would he go? Because he's not really religious. Everything that he's tried to get rid of that disease on his face isn't working, and he obviously does not like that disease on his face. Another thing about the summoner is we think he blackmails other people. He uses their sins against them. He also denies that. You'll see all this in this next interview with the summoner, where we go all in depth and we get his answers and his take on all these allegations against him, of him being a liar and blackmailing and going against the church and everything else that we mentioned previously.
Hi, Mr. Summoner. How you doing today?
No, great. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I'm doing good, thanks. So my first question for you is, what do you do really? What's your role for the church?
Well, it's in my name. I summon people who sin to the courts.
Is that all?
That's about the gist of it, yeah.
What did you just eat?
Just the usual onions and garlics, of course.
Well, it smells great.
Well, going back to what we were just talking about, is summoning really all you do?
Well, I just told you that, yeah, that's all I do.
Do you not accept bribes from people to pay off their sins?
I mean, they're not bribes. I'm just helping them.
Help them by lying to them?
I'm not lying to anyone.
Well, is it true that they can pay off their judges?
Well, I mean, no, but...
So you're lying to them. Is it also true that you blackmail people
How would I blackmail these people?
by using their sins against them?
I mean, the way that you put it sounds bad,
Well,
but...
aren't you also supposed to be wearing a hat?
Yeah, but I think this garland suits me better. It's my style.
But isn't that against the church's rules?
Yes.
What are you going to Canterbury for?
For a religious journey, of course.
Are you not going for that disease on your face?
Well, I mean, I would want this to go away. It would be nice if it did.
Okay. Well, we have to wrap up this interview. Thanks for joining us and good luck on your journey.
Well, thanks for having me.